Well, as you see here, I've let my rhubarb flower, and it's starting to go to seed now, but it has done its job, and it's kept a lot of the insect pollinators and the predators of, well, pest insects, kept them busy here and happily working away, doing the things they do. So the whole idea of letting my rhubarb go to flower, and yeah, sure, I could have picked the flowers to get more rhubarb, but yeah, I'm not worried about that. So the idea with keeping these guys here, these flower stalks here, is that all of my willows and cherries and apples had all stopped flowering, and there's going to be nothing left for the pollinators to work with until my raspberries and blackberries started flowering, which the blackberries have started, and the raspberries will be starting, in about a week. And of course all the gooseberries, the husks, the currants, they've all done their flowering a long time ago. So I'll now be able to get rid of some of these flowering rhubarb stalks, and they can go move on to the blackberries at this point in time. But that's just a stopover, keep them busy, keep them active, all the pollinating insects, keep them in the garden until the next set of flowers pop out, and those are going to be the raspberries. Or sorry, blackberries and raspberries. Another thing going on out here in this little fruit orchard is basically last year I let the needles and leaves, the cover of the orchard that I would normally keep on the ground, I let that go away, and of course everything's now getting populated in weeds, something I'm going to have to deal with somehow. But without that cover, I don't have the ecology here that I had before. And normally I noticed there wasn't a lot of birds and things running around inside the garden. And so something has gone awry. And there's a lot of insect damage on my currants. Now, funnily enough, it's not on my gooseberries, which is where I would expect it to have happened, but just on my currants. And the culprits, if I come over here, and let's see, let's find a good patch of you guys. There you are. There we are. These guys. And they're called the gooseberry sawfly. So these guys are the common gooseberry sawfly, and they're kind of like that bluish yellow coloring with a black head. And then you have the common ones, which kind of look like, have a green caterpillar, kind of like the cabbage moth caterpillars. And so these guys generally go after the gooseberries. Haven't touched the gooseberries, but they go after gooseberries and currants and things like that. And they've done a number on this one plant here, and they've done a little bit of damage on the plant next to it, but that's expected. Normally I'd have a ton of chickadees and predatory birds in here, and of course a lot of more predatory insects, but as I said, I messed up the ecology in this area. The forest ecology just disintegrated, and I didn't keep it covered. And so there's an imbalance in here, which has allowed the gooseberry sawfly, which has not darkened this orchard's doorstep in 2 years, to come back. Now previously I had the pale gooseberry sawfly, the green caterpillared ones, damaging everything. But now what came back is the common one. And the common one's actually worse because they have like 3 or 4 cycles, breeding cycles in a year. But what am I going to do about this? Honestly, nothing. There's nothing really to do. About the most I can do is just a little bit of picking. They all kind of cluster on single leaves here. So I'm going to find the heavily infested leaves. Yeah, right there, some heavily infested, oh, can't see that. heavily infested leaves, and they're just circling them. I'm going to pick those off and get rid of them. And I'm just going to leave the rest. And I'm going to work on covering and smothering and trying to reestablish the soil ecology and then figure out how to reattract some more chickadees, which I've noticed were everywhere else but in my garden this spring. And we'll work on that for next year. Even though these guys are going to deforest and de-leaf this plant, it's not really going to harm the plant too much. I may not get as many currants off this plant as I would like, but yeah, I got a lot of other plants, so not worried about it. And it's not going to kill the plant. They'd have to do this like 2, 3, 4 years in a row to kill the plant, and that's completely denuded them of leaves, so not going to worry about that. But I wanted to point this out, that even in a natural garden, you get a disruption in the ecology, you don't have the right predatory birds or insects, and yeah, you're going to have some problems. But it's not something I'm going to run to the hardware store and grab a chemical and try to deal with. Nope, I'm just going to do some basic hand picking. Going to get rid of this batch, and that should leave just enough and hopefully attract some other predatory things to come have a little snack. So that's it for this little update in the garden. Just trying to keep things, well, trying to get things back into some sort of balance, get some sort of natural insect controls reestablished here. And that's about it. But nothing I'm going to go and stress about. Again, these guys aren't going to die, and they're going to be easy enough to deal with. They probably won't be here next year, so that's it for now. Come on, clean them up. There you go. And that's how you take care of a gooseberry sawfly problem. Feeding 2 chickens. Okay. And that's when you transform your problem into a product. Gotta love it. Alright, so it's a couple of days later, and we're going to continue on with this gooseberry sawfly saga here. And what I noticed is a couple days later is that I've got all of these weird, dried out, what look like to be caterpillar husks just hanging off the ends of all these leaves here. And I'm like, okay, if those are the caterpillars, what's causing that? Well, I think I know what's happening here. So I'm going to move over to here, and if I can find you on the viewfinder, it might be there. He's a little hard to see, but right on that green twig in the back there, right in the center of the screen, that is a ladybug larva. And that ladybug larva is feeding on one of those gooseberry sawfly caterpillars. And that is pretty cool. So, without doing anything, it looks like my caterpillar problem is slowly going to be resolved. And as I suspected, just try to bring back the natural ecology, just let the ecology work, And yeah, it's gonna come back and do a thing. What am I looking at here? Okay, right next to it, I have a wasp, and that wasp is now sucking out the juices of yet another caterpillar. All right, way to go. So, I mean, yeah, he's generally an asshole. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But apparently, the problem is being taken care of right now. So, I noticed this just because I was out here picking a few more caterpillars off, and I used that in feeding my chickens and giving them a little protein boost. And looks like things are going to be back to normal. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Well, that's, hey, natural gardening, nature's ecology, or the win. Oh, hey, there's another waspy thing. Go get him, buddy. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps up the gooseberry sawfly drama situation out here. Funnily enough, it's now a scramble between myself, the ladybugs, the wasps, and, well, I even saw an ant pick up one of the smaller caterpillars and start running away with it. So there's a bit of a scramble for all of us trying to get a hold of these little sawfly larvae to me to feed the chickens and just to feed themselves. And yep, and still got a wasp looking for food there. So that was an interesting turn of events. And well, I just have to say that letting the natural garden take care of itself, I think that's something I've always been struggling for, something I've been wanting to achieve, and it looks like I have it out here. And yeah, I just wanted to document that, share that, and hope you've learned something from this as much as I have, and maybe you can incorporate some of this in your garden, because I'm certainly going to keep this in my garden and just run with it. So I'm happy with the results. Thanks for watching.